Today we're having part 2 of our Polymer Clay 101 series, and I'm going to talk to you about what conditioning is when it comes to your clay, because you can't use your clay straight out of the package. Just like an athlete, this stuff needs to warm up. So stay tuned and learn some hints and tricks for getting that clay conditioned. Alright, first off, let's talk about what does the term conditioning mean. Conditioning simply means getting the clay ready to work. When I start a project, a lot of times you'll hear me say in the beginning of the video, I'm starting with some well-conditioned clay. That means I've been kneading it and handling it and getting it warmed up and working with it for a while before I start the video. This is original Sculpey. I showed you this last week. It's relatively soft to begin with, and it doesn't take very long to condition this stuff. Ideally, when it's conditioned, you'll be able to roll clay into a snake and bend it, and it won't crack. This is some regular Sculpey 3. These are the clays I had out last week when I showed you different brands. Sculpey 3 is also fairly soft, and it's ready pretty quickly. I can condition it, and there. See, I've already got glitter on there. Now this is that package of Fimo green glitter clay. Now this has a couple of things against it already. It's Fimo, which means it's harder to begin with, and it's an older package of clay, so it's gotten crumbly. It's been sitting here a while, and so it's going to need a little tender loving care. So there's a couple of things I can do. Start off, I will probably put it on my tray, and I'll start by cutting it into little tiny pieces. It's already crumbling. Cut it up. Gather it up in your hand and mush it together. Now a lot of times, since I have a pasta machine dedicated to polymer clay, I'll use that to help me condition clay. And we'll talk about that in a future video. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to show you how to do this without a pasta machine. See? Now it's a little softer already. I'm going to lay it down, wipe my hands off, and I'm going to cut it into little tiny pieces again. Now there are products on the market. I believe Sculpey has one called Mix Quick or something like that. It's a clay softener, and you can use a few drops of that. If you have some old clay that's really crumbly, you can try adding just a tiny drop of mineral oil or even vegetable oil to it. But you see, this is already getting softer, and it's a fairly firm clay. I'm going to have glitter all over everything by the time I'm done. So let's do this a couple more times. Now if it's cold in your house or your hands are cold, it's a couple of things you can do, because clay works better when it's slightly warm. It likes warm hands. So if your hands are really cold, go wash them with some hot water and then come back and work with your clay. Or something I do a lot of times, I'll put my clay in its Ziploc bag and I'll stuff it in a pocket or another part of my clothing where I can keep it close to my body for 10 or 15 minutes, and that will help to soften it up. But you can see I've already got this. As we've been talking, I've already got it a lot softer. Let's see if we can do the test now. See, will it bend without breaking? When I started, we couldn't even have done this. It would have just fallen apart. And look, it's pretty much ready to work. Now if you've got clay and you're going to use it in a project that has translucent clay, because translucent clay is much softer, add your translucent to your color as you're conditioning it. It will help it condition a lot faster. You can see that one is ready to go now. So what if you have a clay that's actually too soft? if you've got a piece of clay that's way too soft and you want to use it for a project, one thing you can do, and I forgot to grab a piece of paper, so I'm just going to grab some out of my notebook here. Your clay and put it on a piece of paper. Printer paper is better because there's no lines on it. I'm not sure if the lines on this would actually transfer or not to my clay. Lay it on paper overnight. What you'll find is there'll be an oily spot around your clay where it has soaked out some of that basically oils that are in there. Now, always wash your hands between colors. You can see why here. After conditioning that green clay, this scrap clay, white clay, is now turning green from my fingers. So that's how we condition our clay. It's really a simple process, but it can take some time depending on the clay that you're using. And if you have to leave your clay for a while, you may have to recondition it. Like if you're working on a project today and you come back tomorrow to work on it again, you'll probably have to condition your clay again. So don't mix up more than you need. Now, I said in the cold weather you can warm your hands up. In hot weather, you might find that you need to rinse your hands in some cold water or put your clay in the refrigerator for a few minutes. That also helps. And the ceramic tiles I work on also help keep the clay cooler. And it also gives me a really good surface to work against. So that's our little information on conditioning clay. I hope this helped. Be sure and check the blog post. Be sure and find my Facebook page, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.